Well, guys, it's been on my mind to do something like this. What really have me doing it at the moment, it's the awareness, and unfortunately for me, my spiritual awakening, or I should say, awakening of the mind happened, on my dad passing on, right? And this is going to be a long, long video. I may have to do it in parts, right? And hopefully, this should bring some awareness to you who's out there listening to what it is I have to say, my experience, and for persons who had a recent pass in their family or so forth, and looking for answers and stuff like that. Because at some point in time, we do have a lot of questions regarding death and life, and it should bring a form of comfort, I should say. And I said I have to do something like this, and it happened to me in in May 2024. That's the month that my dad ascended, I should say, right. um I had the I was very fortunate to be with him at coming down to the last stages. A lot of people didn't really get the opportunity to do that, I'm sure, with all these murders, accidents, and stuff like that. But naturally, my dad, he lived a life, I would say, um, he lived life, he lived life because, growing up, just a little history about me growing up, in a home where, you have a parent, in Christ and going to church, Pentecostal, trying to live for the Lord, reading the Bible, praying and stuff like that. The Bible is really, really powerful. A lot of things you could learn from the Bible, and unity, forgiveness, um, and most importantly, love, right? And there's a lot of powerful teaching in the Bible about, the mindset and stuff, the temple of the body, the temple, meaning the body, the consciousness, how you should be thinking, and the power we have as individuals, right? So, I mean, I grew up in church, guys, and basically, it should be told, it taught me a lot about life, and to have a fear, in the Lord in terms of when he deciding to do wrong things. So the Bible have a lot of good teachings that could assist you in life, and how to live and stuff like that. But I'm really, really doing this video to make everyone aware of what's happening, because sometimes we be programmed, I should say, in one way. I don't want to go against any kind of teachings and stuff like that, but just to bring awareness, because this is what happened to me. Just in me, I during the time my dad was in his deathbed, as some would say, right? But just a little history about growing up. Dad was a really, really popular country western singer in Trinidad and Tobago. And in his stages, younger stages, he made it all the way to 73, by the way. So that's like a good enough, time span here on Earth, right? Currently. So basically, when I was growing up, daddy used to play music and stuff, country music, go a lot of different places. And, he used to, bring um lots of foods and stuff for us. But, he got a little caught up in the drinking of the alcohol, and he was smoking and stuff. So yeah, and mom was on the other side, going to church, doing the the positive things in terms of, trying to guide us in the right path, right? But I must say she did a great job, because going to church at a young stage is very important. Because I mean, even though if you go to church and you somehow later on in life you decided to take a little sidetrack and stuff, when a major event happen, happens in your life, you tend to remember back in your Sunday school days, the days that, you was having a really, really good communication with God, right? And it tends to bring a comfort to you. But with that being said, I basically grew up really, really tough with that, and his alcohol drinking got a little more severe, and at the age, I just fast forwarding a little bit, it was a bit tough growing up, I should say. So I started working at an early age, and I had to make some decisions to leave where, I used to stay with dad there, I told mom we had to leave and stuff like that to, because things got a little too physical, intense. But with that being said, as life goes on, you learn and stuff like that. So we made a decision to leave and thing. And me going to church and stuff, and to know that dad is drinking and all these things, I kind of separated myself from him for a couple of years, but he's still checking on out to see what's going on. And he had the option of making better decisions, but that's a whole new story by itself. Or a next video, I should cover that information. Um, because only when his last days I got to realize, things could have been a little different for him by the choices, he could have made and stuff like that. But I don't want to get too much into that. I want to really talk about my experience with his passing on, right? So, I had a lot of anger inside of me because of not having a real like a father role model to follow by, as a parent out there, you want as a kid, you would like to follow in the footsteps of your parent. And unfortunately I didn't really have that with dad, but upon the passing there, on his deathbed, I had to make it my duty, guys, to really ask for his to ask for his for me actually not to ask but to really tell him that I forgive him, and I released him because at that stage, he was suffering really, really bad, and he had to go through that because of the choices he made in life. And this is it, guys. A lot of things came to my attention, my awareness on that day. A lot of people might have it different occasions in their life, but basically, I I started to think a lot because I was really, really against him because of the choices he made, and I had to make my own um decisions at some point in time. And I separated myself from him, but at the end of the day, he was still my dad. So I had to really forgive him, and I had to release him, guys. And you wouldn't believe how powerful that is. And I'm telling you this out there, you might go through a lot of tough times with your parents, but at the end of the day, you had to forgive and release. That is really, really important. And by me doing that, um, it it made me aware of life itself, guys, right? And I just wrote down some stuff here that I could just recall instantly, because this would be a lot of different parts I'll be doing, and it actually questions, what is really the purpose in life and what really happens after death with the physical body, right? We go to church, we learn, and we understand the teachings of Christ and stuff like that, and the following and stuff like that. But it sometimes you had to experience things to really understand something, you understand? So what I'm saying is that I believe the purpose of life, looking past all religions and stuff like that. Yeah, it all comes down to the basic stuff, guys, and it starts with love, right? And I believe the love comes from God and your parents, right? As growing up as kids into the world, and during that process, you would start to learn, and by learning now, you would learn, and then you would start to live life, right? But it doesn't stop there. When you live now, you would start making mistakes, right? You would start having a lot of experiences. And with this now, you would have to forgive, right? You would have to forgive and revert back to love, and it's that simple. It's that cycle I believe you had to follow. And this here is the purpose of life itself on earth, generally speaking. We all have a part to play in this universe. And so many things are working on that month there. After his passing as well, too, the ascension of his spirit, because in spite of all the bad things your parent may do in their life, it all comes down to love, guys. And that happened to me. I had the opportunity to talk to my dad. It brought me back to that state of mind many, many years ago when we used to stay together as a family. And he whispered to me, life, live it. At that point in time, I I didn't fully understand what it is he was saying, but now I really, really understand. And ascension of the spirit into the back into the universe is a real thing, guys. I didn't believe it until I fully experienced it. Again, this is my awakening experience here. And this, I believe this is what really is happening. It is the spirit itself goes back to the universe, and because we all are part of it, and it even is in the Bible too. They say that God is in us, right? Our mind is so powerful, and our mind, we are capable of doing so many things in terms of um, choosing good habits and bad habits. And it takes me into affirmations, declaring certain things in your life by you speaking it and thinking about it constantly every day. And a lot of people have proven this on the internet. I start doing a lot of research when my dad passed. I thought it would not be so emotional, but it was, guys. And I thought about a lot of people losing their loved ones, how they would have felt. And some of them didn't even have the opportunity to talk to the people, to their loved one, and tell them, hey, you know what, I forgive you and stuff like that. And I had the opportunity to do that, and it released so many things in me in terms of awareness. And yeah, so pretty much ascension of his spirit. I believe what happens is that we don't actually die um spiritually, I should say, right? The ascension happens and they no longer have access to the physical realm, right? When they ascend now, they go to the spiritual realm and they meet familiar faces or souls that they would have known on the earth, right? So I believe now that we were really sent to this earth to um, again live, love, show love, and learn, right? By learning now, we reach a certain age in terms of maturity, and we ascend, right? We ascend. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of murders happen and stuff like that. But I believe if you don't fulfill your purpose in life, a lot of religion talks about the reincarnation. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you know um fully into the reincarnation, but something happens, guys. Something happens, for you to fulfill exactly what you were really sent here to do, right? So regarding the spiritual side of things, there's a lot of things you have to consider. What you guys should do is check out this guy or movie, I should say, a movie. I first start off with the movie. It is called um, After That, right? You could check this movie out. It's called After That. You could look at that because that is a movie I looked at after, my first when I should say loved one that I really knew. My dad passed. I looked at this movie and it had a lot of meanings in this movie here. You could basically look at that, right? And you will learn a lot, guys. And after that now it have a lot of things that we wasn't really thought of. And a good way to start is doing your research, right? Um, it have this guy on the internet called Billy Carson, right? This guy here have a lot of information to share with the public freely, right? And it goes back to history, right? It goes back to 36,000 years ago. We're not even talking about 3,000 or 5,000. We're talking about 36,000 years ago, back in ancient times, where there were civilizations on Earth. Um, I don't want to recall the name, but Egypt, guys, a lot of stuff happened from Egypt here, and this world, right, in this physical universe. And this guy have a lot of information that will bring awareness to you, right? In terms of comforting to persons who experience loss and stuff like that, that is not the end, guys. To me, it's a gateway, it's a passage that everyone will eventually have to go through. And that is where the ascension happens, where the soul goes back to the maker, to the universe, to the God, the creator of everything. And we continue to learn from there, right? We continue to learn from there. So that is not the end. And that is a simple way to put it. We all have to face it. So persons who get it before and stuff like that, I mean, yes, it would be emotional, but it's a natural process of life, right? And I hope that brings a little bit of comfort to you, because when my dad passed, I had a visitation um, with him, and something with the hours of in the wee mornings, like from 1 a.m., 2 a.m. straight to 5 a.m. in the morning, something happens, guys, right? Within the spiritual realm, um, that is right. So if you're into meditation and stuff, and that's the next thing to dealing with these chakras in the body. It is real stuff, it's affirmations, confirmations, meditation on the whole, real powerful. Um the Bible talk about being like Christ as well. And this is just some food for thought, I should say, having a Christ mind consciousness. All right. You could go check that out. Real powerful stuff there. And again, everything is about awareness and being alert of what is really happening, what is our purpose, and being mindful of everything, guys, right? So check out this guy, Billy Carson, on YouTube. A lot of videos there. They talk about TikTok, real videos about the ancient civilization. You learn about thought. Um, you learn about Enel, Iki. You learn about the Anunnaki, generally speaking, Nibiru, right? And you might tell yourself, hey, that's like a movie, but it's facts, guys. It's facts out there, right? So I just want to come to an end to this part of the video of my personal spiritual awakening. And again, I had encounters with my dad passing, talking about a visitation. where someone actually out of the blue, I went out and they just mysteriously appeared, playing music, telling me that everything is okay. And he was expecting me and stuff like that. Fully well dressed. I most believe that's a angelic being visiting me to let me know that everything is okay, right? And I also had when my dad was ascending, I had a moment where I felt his presence around where I live, and hearing like objects moving and stuff like that, and I woke up and immediately I bawled, "Hey, Dad," So I had a awareness there as well, alert, being mindful of that. And what happens in the persons now who experience losses is you had to be aware that their senses now is going to be really, really super attractive. You're gonna be real sensitive in terms of utilizing your senses, right? So I know a lot of people may have a lot of stories to share, experiences and stuff, but I think there's a good way for people to come on video and really share, your experience and stuff, your encounters in terms of spiritual awakening, because it's a real fact and I believe it's happening, and something is happening with the universe as well in terms of the end times. Um, I believe something is happening as well. So everybody had to be really, really alert. And again, check out this guy, Billy Carson. He have a lot of information that it's going to be mind blowing to you. It's going to open up the truth as well. And just have an open mind when you're listening to be able to learn, right? And again, that's one of the purposes down here on earth is to learn. You have to learn, guys, because what we experiencing now um is like a process where it happened already. You understand what I'm saying? The civilizations that existed before, they had advanced technology we could only dream of, right? I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna continue, gonna do some other videos as time goes by. So this will be my first video talking about the spiritual awakening of the mind, right? And if you guys have some input, some comments, you could hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. But I'm gonna leave it at that. And yeah, definitely be aware, guys, of what's happening in the world.